Okay. Let's see what we can figure out today. So first off, we need to figure out why moving to the bottom left doesn't work. Okay, so it's not that doesn't work. It's this. Moving to the edge here that doesn't work. Why is that? Because you can see. Yeah, it never works. It's in here, I think. Here we're just stepping, right? It's this. This is it. It's not that it's wrong, it's that it's not doing... Not doing this. Or is it? Is that the issue? I feel like it's weird. But yeah, I think that is maybe it. Because we're iterating from the top right. So that means we have to iterate. Subpos offset. Yeah. This is it. Still weird that it happened to the top right. Because I don't feel like that fixes that. But this isn't necessarily what I want to do. That's not gonna abort it. That's gonna say target found. And no, that's not true either. Because we have target bounds here, right? Map position. No, what? Minus subpass offset. That has to be there too, right? And this should only ever happen in checking range. And I do think this needs to happen. But let's do this. In here, we're gonna say if and if that's true, then we run this. Else, we say target found. Maybe. And we break. Actually, I don't know if we should break. I think if we find the target, we have to continue checking. Yeah, it should just be target found, and then it needs to just continue naturally. Let's see how that works. Oh, it needs to be there and there. Now that works, but this doesn't work anymore. Why is that? Let's try again. See if it's printing anything. Abort due to soft collider. Why is this not working? What are the target bounds here? Strange, but that is the issue. It's right there. Oops. Put him in the wrong spot. Because that doesn't make any sense. No, it makes sense. Target bounds. It's just one tile. Target bounds. AoE target bounds. This is it. Surprised it worked at all. What? How is this? This is literally not possible. Target new position equals target object.tile position. Here we've already set the object here. Like it's crashing here, not here. That does not make any sense. Because that means we have already set item 1, which I guess might be null, for all I know. So maybe that works. And then as we're trying to system.nullable. Yeah, it's a null. It's not that the list is empty or anything, or it's not that we're reading an empty list, it's that the value is null. So I assume it is target object. But I mean, it doesn't even happen here. It's this. The fuck is raycast target? Yeah, I don't have access to a target here. What do I do? We have to just get it. Get object. I'm doing it here though. Oh, I see. We should just do this. We shouldn't say target found. We should say I equals max dist. All right. Then crash again. Step history. I guess it depends here, like... Something like that, maybe. Or should we just say... if history index is greater than... 0... Because what was happening there was... I'm trying to position the character like 2 tiles away from the target. And the way I'm doing that is I'm storing each step that we make in the pathfinding as like a history in an array, or in a list rather. And when I find the target, I check how far away are we supposed to be from the target. And then I back up in the history that amount of steps, and then that's where we place the character. But if you're supposed to end up 2 tiles away, and you use the skill point blank because I haven't implemented a minimum range yet, then it was trying to read 2 indices back when we have a list of like 1 or 0. I can now place myself again, and it looks more accurate than it did before. But the targets don't work. Wait, what? Yeah. Make a null check there. no! Oh yeah. But why doesn't this work? Let's see what error we get. Exactly. Why didn't it crash? So it's not doing any of this. But it's also not doing this anymore. Why? It's this, I think. Because what's happening, I think, is that but it shouldn't. Because this happens. Yeah. Yeah. I think. So it comes in here. We find the target, right? And after we find the target, we want to find where it is going to get pushed to. And this is where we first find the target. And this is where we set I to max distance, which basically ends the ray. And then we get to the end of the code, and it checks. Or it sets it to the found target, because that's the idea. Like when you get to the end of the ray, you've found the target that you're looking for. And once we've found the target, we then, like I said, we continue the line to find where the target is going to get pushed to. But then when it came back in here, it would do the same check here. It's checking if the tile is a soft collider. If it is, then we're gonna check if the point that we're currently checking is within either the target's bounds or our bounds. And if it isn't, then we set it to target found. So that, because of that, it would just cancel it. Let's see if it works now. But it's actually not that simple, because we have to... It has to continue searching. No, it still doesn't work. Why? I guess we should set it to here. Let's say if finding movement distance is true. Then we can see what it's doing after we find a target. Right? We're currently at I1, max distance is 2. I'm going to go through this 8 times. There, and then we add a temp tile there. Oh shit. Then we go in here. We add to validated tiles. Oh no. We add to movement vector. It's currently -1. We're not doing anything in here, I think. Oh. Not there, not there. Adding a tile there. If I is now 2, max distance is 2. Then we go in here, target found is true. We go down here. If target new position equals null. Which it apparently is, then we add it. Item exists in list equals false. If item exists in list, this is a count of 0. Then the raycast target is currently yeah, this isn't, it's not null. Right, why did it go all the way back? If target found, true. Return true. As position, yeah, it does. No, it doesn't, but target new position does not equal null. Not. The count is greater than 0. And we set a target object. Iterate through that. Target object equals item 1. And then here, target. It's not that. No, it isn't. What am I even looking for? Target new position. 8-8. His target tile position is 9-9. I mean, it's working. Where's the issue? What? I'll be right back. I don't know if chili is actually good. We'll get some Tabasco and some cheese. Bro, why is this happening? Like, for whatever reason, this seems to work, right? It doesn't seem like the issue is here. So then we end up here. I don't know why breakpoints are down here. Dude. Can you fold these together, please? Please? Hello? Please? Yeah. Is it maybe the movement force that doesn't work? Oh, hold on. Is it this simple? I mean, the rendering here still seems like it's bugged. Which is super weird. Yeah, like, why does this not work? No, it's still broken. This isn't used. Accumulated force. Then we add that there. Object force execute. Then we go through this again. Once again, I'm gonna find an object. Check that. And we finalize the ray. Scaling the ray position. Is it update? Is it this? Is it the update that's broken? But like, we've set internal position raw now to the new value. Internal position 216144. Set to the new position. We update bounds. If new tile does not equal tile position, then we're updating tile position. Updating tile bounds. Like, it's doing everything. The character has moved. Why is it being a fucking bitch? Wait a second. No. Crash Unity. So this unit is at 10, this one is at 8. Yeah, the target new position list is affecting the user. Like, I know it says user there, but that doesn't do anything. Raycast target. Yeah, okay. This is it. Fuck. What if we do that? Oh. Works there, but not here. Here it works. But not there. Does the charge actually work as well? Yes. It does move a little strangely, though. And there are strange yellow tiles being drawn. Okay, it's not that strange. It's actually the it's actually the underlying static targeting grid that's being shown there in yellow. So it's actually working correctly. Though I think if I did this entire area here should probably turn red. But it is still broken. Why does it work now? How was he standing earlier? Oh wait, maybe it wasn't broken. I think I know what happened, maybe. That works. They all work. It's a bit messy, like, no matter what, the positioning is going to be a little wonky, but it works. So what was happening before was simply that this was the case, I think. Yeah. This guy was just misplaced by one tile. That way I couldn't target these two tiles here. Even though it says I can. So that's actually incorrect. And he is getting incorrectly moved. So, what I wanted to do next was to make another spell. Fuck. It's gonna be based on Cyrus Gaze. I don't know what to call that, just call it some shit. Yes? Making spells is way too complicated. I need to have like a checklist to do this, unironically. I think it might be a little over-designed, but whatever. I mean, Cyrus Gates isn't even in here. Wait. Strange. It's not gonna work. I'm not sure where I need to go and mess with stuff. Make this work. But first of all, this is broken, actually. So that doesn't help. It's only finding one tile when it's supposed to find multiple. That doesn't help. So let's see what happens if we actually execute this spell. Not much. But actually, it crashed. Here it can't even hit. Doesn't have a target list. Yeah. So I think the issue here now is that this isn't really... We're not set up for this. This would only work if it was line targeting. Target movement vector. Yeah. But we need to fix... oh... why is this broken now? Let's try that. Because the fact that I was setting a target there and doing things, it was making it skip code for Cyrus Gaze. I think. And now that works again. Alright. Shield charge works. What? Was it because that guy died? No, he didn't die. I don't even understand what it's doing. Let's just hit one target with Gravity Blast. See? Oh, no, I know what's happening. It's this. It's this. Execution triggers are there so that we can execute all of the triggers that did not trigger for whatever reason as we were executing. But I removed those triggers, so it was executing null stuff. Not even null, outside of bounds. Okay. Sure. I don't know why there's a big purple thing there. Um... We're reaching the 2-hour mark. Oy. Means you're due for a break. Actually, kind of. I bought a pair of wireless headphones like 100 years ago that I recently started using. I actually prefer them over my normal headphones. They're more comfortable to wear. I don't know if this EQ translates. No, it doesn't. Because then you would be muted now. You're not. Oh. I don't want to go outside. I hate going for a walk. But taking a break at the computer doesn't help either. very blowy outside. Every single kid has a kick bike nowadays. Makes me jealous. Almost nobody rides a bike in my town. They all have kick bikes. Meow, kitty cat. Game engine doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Good stream. I'm just trying to recharge my brain. Four. Okay. I'll be right back. I. 4. Okay. I'll be right back. We eat more cheese. All right, let's try it. Yes. So what's strange? Maybe. Let's see. It's this. We're not passing that in at all. Why did this change? Like, I hate this fucking program. It just does things. Yeah, here. Oh, Windows crashed. I feel like this is gonna grow ever more complex. Because this here, if max distance, if target found. See? This is where I feel like my code is not good when it comes to stuff like this. Like, it's just... It's not concise and like, step by step enough. But it's really hard to do that. Like, the more complicated the logic, the harder it is to have more strict stuff. But I also feel like the more important it is to have it. Because here now, if I is greater than max distance, then we do this target bound shit. But this is wrong. It can't be like this. So it needs to be something more like I need another boolean. If we have target found, that's fine, but we need something else, like target bound init. Or some shit. Because I equals max dist cannot equal target found. Because that only works for something that targets a target. Otherwise, the target is something that we encounter. And then we have to know that it's a target. So now this part of the code can only run in certain instances. Snort. Oi. I feel like this is bad. Kind of. Because here we say I equals max distance. And this is target found. Right? Because there we have a point AABBCC in the target bounds. But this is this is wrong. I mean, I feel like this should just be like this. Like, just like this. We check if collider first, and then we check that. This means we've found the target. Target has been found. But then the question is, like, what kind of... This is where we need to do this. Blocked by obstacle, blocked by self. First unit found. Like, this is where we need to do this. But this is the issue. Like, target bounds. That's only true if action dot target type equals target type line target or target. I mean, target isn't even something that'll happen here. Not really. Is it? It might. But not necessarily. I actually think target is kind of something that isn't really used that much. Or it could be. This line target, that's kind of like every melee attack is a line attack. And every ranged attack, like a bow, for example, is a ranged line attack. So it's almost all line attacks. But I don't know if I want all of them to be line attacks either. Because the line attack... The line has like a purpose, right? It's for displacing units, mainly. Because otherwise, like, a target still has line checking to see if it's a viable target, right? If it's a blast AoE, the reality is that it's probably like we're doing this now. It's a nested for loop that's checking the X and the Y of the line size. But that's for a blast AoE, that's actually just one X, one Y. So we don't need to do this target bound check, because any target we find is... And here's the thing, right? Yeah, we need to do that here too. If first unit found But this is like... If is collider. Target bounds full. Where did the soft collider go? Here it's checking soft collider, but this should actually be more like this. If soft collider there, and then we wrap this whole thing there. We don't need to check this again. If first unit bound, then I max this. And we can also say target bound equals true, right? And then down here, it says target found. Here we then say if target found init is false, then we set that. But here we still have an I equals max dist thing, right? Wait, what's the problem? There. I feel like this is completely busted right now. Index out of range. Ugh. Why does it even crash? Like, raycast target equals. Like, how can this crash? Target new position list dot count. So you're telling me it has a new position, like it has an entry, because otherwise the count wouldn't be able to iterate. And then it crashes because you're trying to access it. Huh? No. Oh, there it is. How has that been working for so long? There, you. It was an I instead of a U. I need to get that into like muscle memory. If it crashes on a loop, check the variables first thing. But I feel like what's happening now is that it's like it's doing things when outside of bounds. Here, like when I click here, it's outside of bounds here. And then when I come in, it's fucked. Oh, hello. Why does this look like this? It's not supposed to look like that. I feel like this here. This needs to be something like and action dot target type. I'm gonna go up and fetch the ones up there. So it needs to do this, like either if I is greater than or equals to max distance, I don't really know where I prefer, like, should or be at the end or in the front? Or something like that, maybe? Because at the end of a blast AoE, we haven't found a target. So the blast AoE needs to find a target in order to do this. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's gonna be really complicated. You can see it's actually working now, but we're finding the same object multiple times, and it's being pushed into a different section there. But it is kind of working. But it's not actually adding and applying the force. But instead, it is just continuing for the amount of tiles specified. How should I do this? Yeah, okay. So here now we're adding movement mod parameters here. Wow, this is difficult. Whoa! Oh, Flannel Beard, how's it going? Thanks, Unity Coder, for the cheers. The stream's going okay. Doing some annoying things. It's busting my balls. Basically, I'm implementing abilities and stuff, and it is rough. Let me restart. Let's bring that character, this character, that character. So if we just click an ability, we generate a grid that shows the range, what we can target. And here I have an ability called Lunge, which apparently I have set to have a range of 1, which it shouldn't have, so I can't do anything with that right now. Let's delay here. So we have a shield charge here. Okay, never mind, I broke it. See what I mean? Unity, in Uni I made a D&D game in C++ that reminds me of it. I had that same range calculation. Yeah, I mean, it's tile-based, but it's actually... I'm using a ray marching algorithm to actually generate the ranges. So that it's like line of sight based, more or less. It's looking like walk over here. You can see now you can only target in certain places. But what I'm doing right now is I'm implementing abilities that can displace units, whether it's the unit using it or the target, right? So I managed to get it working that you can like charge an enemy and your character moves to the new position. And I then also implemented so that the target can get displaced. Also, all of this using ray marching so that if you target something that's like diagonal or any angle really, then we can push units in any angle. So it's not just like left, right, up, down. And that was working, and now I'm trying to make an like a spell that can push enemies away from its center. And oh, hello, Ginger Dev. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah. Oh. There are so many problems, because if you look, this unit takes up 4 tiles, but you can target like this corner tile here. So each unit occupies multiple tiles based on its size. And this makes a lot of things complicated, because, for example, the way I do an AoE blast type spell is I find a center, and then I ray march around to the edges for each tile on the edge, which is a lot of ray marching, but it is what it is. And that fetches targets and whatnot, right? But the problem is, when I want to have an AoE that can push targets, if I just do that based on like the first tile that I find, then the angle is going to be based on the source tile and on like which tile we find first. So just because it finds this corner tile here means it's going to get pushed a bit more there. If it finds this one, it's going to get pushed a bit more there. So I have to implement some kind of system where it just finds targets, and then we ray march to them again after it's done by determining like the closest tile, and then creating another ray so that we can push them in a way that feels a bit more organic from the center of the blast. Maybe. That's a lot of rays. And then I need to... I want to store like all of those targets and then render out with new tiles where they are going to get placed before execution, right? So it shows like little yellow tiles off in the distance somewhere. But I think that's kind of the solution. That we simply... If... Here we just return, right? But... This is done here. So we're iterating through this. And then here, after this, we'd have to do something like if action dot movement mod parameters does not equal null. Maybe even, well, if action dot movement mod parameters dot target movement vector does not equal null. And then here we just have to do a new line collision somehow. I can just set that up. Oh, hold on. Wait. Where's my phone? I don't know. I don't think it should be the same function. It needs to be like a new function. Hold on, I have to wake up my boss before the meeting. Alright, thanks for dropping by. Have a good day, dude. Or night, or whatever. I just feel like my methods or my functions are just kind of nasty. Because the line collision has so much shit in it that, like, let's say I run this line collision to check for, like, let's say I have a spell that's an AoE that just targets the ground somewhere, and then it explodes out from the center. Then I line cast from the center to every edge tile to find all the positions and all the targets. I don't even know what I'm saying, but that's step one, right? But then after that, I need another line collision iteration if the effect wants to push or pull targets. Then we need to re-line check towards the targets we've found, but the line needs to run from the epicenter to the center of the target, not the tile we found, right? The other way to do it, which I don't really like, but is doable, is... Yeah, no, I don't like it. But I could like iterate through the whole thing, and then we could say you get pushed one tile per tile affected. So if if the attack hits all 4, then you get pushed 2 tiles, 4 tiles, whatever. But that makes it hard to set values as well. You can't push anything like 3, just like that. That's how damage works. Like, damage has partial hits, but that's fine. But I don't like it for pushing and stuff like that. I feel like that should be a bit more rigid. If you're affected, you're affected. At most, it should be like maybe the push is stronger at the epicenter and weaker at the edges, something like that. But otherwise, I don't really want to do partial hits for pull strength. Like, I guess I could, but it's also because including the, because that would require including decimals, I would say, and having the force that we're applying in a tile-based system be based on floats. It's just annoying, like, because then we have to validate tile floats a lot. Otherwise, if it's 99, like 0.99, then it's not 1, it's 0. That's an entire tile incorrect, which is 1 tile too much. We can't have any tile be incorrect. Oh. But in that case, I think what we should do is simply we go back here and here. We're doing a little check here, right? if action.target type does not equal last AoE, then we can do that for loop. And the purpose of this for loop is to check if the target has already been added, and then we don't add it again. I don't think this is really an issue. This is for AoEs, because the idea was that... because this is for pushing and pulling, so if a target has already been added here, then it should only be added once. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, actually. Doesn't matter. I was thinking that, okay, if it's a blast AoE, we'll just add the objects multiple times, and then we just sort through it later. But it's already dealing with that. Like they're only being added once. Now the thing here is that for whatever reason, the targets are not actually added. Like, I don't really understand why. There's probably just some thing here. But I don't really know how to do this now. What if we go here and we write a condition that says... oh, condition? It says action.target type equals target type dot blast AoE. And target found. Perhaps. Target found is never true. Ah. there. But this isn't necessarily that it should be true either. Let's not set that, actually. But basically, what I was doing here is I'm setting we're doing if first unit found. Oh, this is gonna be tricky. Oh. Actually, you know what? Maybe it won't. Because if it's blast AoE, if first unit found is like that, if it's like this, then we don't say this. We don't say this either. But we have a target, right? So all we have to do here is do this. So if we have a blast AoE that can push targets, if it is not blocked by the first unit it encounters, because that's how it can be. Like maybe it's like a wind gust or something, and maybe the first unit it hits will block it for anything that's behind. That way, you know, maybe, just in theory, maybe, but maybe it just pushes everything in the AoE. So, since the way I want it to work is that the calculation for repositioning isn't actually done here, that means that all we have to do is, as we are traversing the ray, if we encounter an object, we add it to the list of objects that need to be moved. This system can actually be done for the other thing too, but we'll see. For now, pushing objects like mostly works, but we add the objects that we find, and then we simply complete the raycast for the whole AoE. And then after that, we just go through the list of objects that we have and just raycast to them without collision. At least it has to be without collision when we go to. Because all we need is to calculate. I mean, honestly, we don't even need to cast a ray. All I need to do is to get a direction. Because afterwards, as long as we have a direction, no, that's not necessarily true. Fuck. Because I was adding a system, right? Called force, where you can add force to a unit and then you calculate where he ends up. But right now, the way it works is that the force isn't really like force. It's just a calculated position that the target needs to be pushed towards. But I guess it could be reworked to be like a vector plus a force. That would be okay. That would work. And you just add all of it together. But I don't know really how to add vectors together. Because it's not that simple. Because vector math with a magnitude, that's easy. Oh, someone's out jogging with a stroller. That's always fun to see. But yeah, the calculating a distance or a position using a vector and a magnitude is easy. But the issue is that we don't have the luxury of doing that because we are using tiles. Unless I should do it with... Should I store the force as floats and actually do vector magnitude calculations? It could work. Because the problem is, you can't do vector magnitude math with tiles, because you need to have... You need to have floats. But if I just convert, like if I just convert the position from tile to float, and then we just calculate the magnitude from that between between the delta, and then add a vector, then I can just store that and I can get the correct position from that, assuming that the floats don't fuck me. We could calculate from center tile to center tile, maybe. Top right, center of the top right tile to the center of the target. which might be top right tile, because if you have 2 times 2 tiles, then one of them has to be the center. And if I just do it at the very center, which is like 24, whatever, and then we don't avoid the float rounding problem. Oh, I think yes. I think yes. Calculate force using floats plus magnitude, and then combine. Oh, why do I need to combine? Like, what am I talking about right now? What? Well, oh yeah, that was to avoid having to... Yeah. Because otherwise I have to ray trace from every target all the time. And it would also... It could also make it easier to deal with this whole thing, because I wouldn't need to have this entire section of this here. No, I kind of would. I mean, it's like this, right? If I have an attack, like with Adanos, there's an attack called Shield Charge right now. Let's say we have Shield Charge, and the way it works is that you charge a target, and then you stop in front of it. So you're tile to tile, and then you bash him away from you, right? If we do that, then it's easy. Then I can just apply a force to that target and then push him away. And then in the fourth step, it only moves you as far as you can, right? So that's all there is to it. But if we want an attack that can charge a target and displace the target and put you where the target used to be, then there needs to be a step in between where we ray cast and we check against like collision behind to see that the target can actually move. But I think it's still good, because I think all I have to do then is just make another step afterwards. Like we find the target, then we apply the force, velocity, or whatever we want to call it. We apply the force to it, and then we make a preview, kind of, or a pre-check with the force to see if it moves the object out of the way. Maybe. I mean, this is... It's tricky. Perhaps. Maybe you can just... Does that work? Let's say we have 3 points here. That point, that point, that point. What is that? That's 0, 1, 2. That's 2, 2. That's 2, 6. Can't rely on Mace Sprite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7, 5. We just add all of those together. What do we end up with? 11, 13. And then we divide it by 3. Does that work? Oh, Ginger Dev, how's it going? How long has your game been in development? A while. I don't remember when I started programming. It's been like 3 years, maybe. I think 4 years. But one year is subtracted from that because I was burnt out the whole year and I couldn't do anything. And this is then 4.3. I guess you can get an average like that. So then this is 3, 4. Well, I'm mostly just working on the combat prototype here, so that's really what I've got going. But like I've programmed all of this too. This is a level editor. It's got a save system, a load system. You know, I have got some tools and stuff. I've got a fill tool for stuff like that. I have a selection tool that's bugged, but I need to fix it. But it does work. Got line tool, eraser, blah blah blah, selection tool. Did it crash? Yeah, it crashed. No, it didn't. But I turned it off. Hold on. So a lot of it is the editor. Whoops. Turn on combat. Let's restart it again. I've also got an undo and a redo system. So yeah, I've programmed quite a bit when it comes to the level editor itself. Why is that broken? Okay, I don't know why this is broken. I'll have to check that. But basically, I've made a system where you can walk into buildings and behind buildings. Oh, does it work now? Yeah, okay. For what it's bugged, but in some way I don't understand right now. But yeah, as you can see, you can walk inside buildings, and you can see in and outside of that. I've also got, because buildings are comprised of rooms. That's how it's rendered. Like, you need to know which room is visible and which is like not visible, and all of that. And you also need to know which back side needs to be transparent and which front needs to be transparent of the building, which roof needs to be transparent, all of that. So I made like a complicated algorithm for automatically generating rooms. So I've got a button here that just generates rooms for me based on how the tiles are. And then that works in tandem with the rendering engine to render like transparencies and stuff like this based on, because it's a voxel game engine, like it's a voxel world, and the game is rendered using ray marching through a voxel space. So it's actually 3D. And with that, I also have like shadow casting based on the tiles and the sprites. So you can see on the sprite, you got shadow that's falling on the wall there, or shadow that's falling inside of the building based on the sprite. Based on time of day. There's also light casting that works the same way, but I don't have a torch implemented right now, so I can't actually do anything with it. So this is largely what I've done outside of combat, and now I'm working on the combat system, which is just implementing characters and abilities, because there's so many different types of abilities that need to have unique coding. That's why I'm working on targeting right now, because that's the number one thing that matters at the moment. So this is just like a single target attack. It's still using line casting, so if there's like a target in the way, you can't attack past it. And then if you click to attack someone, there's this kind of sequence that plays out. So we can have more detailed animations. Because otherwise, if you're standing like this close to each other, you can't really animate that very well unless you have a more stylized art style. So that's what we're doing there. We're also saving time and effort, because otherwise I'd have to animate every single attack from every direction, right? So those are single target things. We also have like this is a shout, so it's just affecting the targets in an area around him, including himself. Shield charge is supposed to be like a line that charges at an enemy and pushes them in this or that direction, but it's bugged right now. The game uses an AP system, so The character has 10 AP. This costs 4 AP. And each AP is a position here in the timeline, so if you move, that costs 1 AP per step, and that moves you further in the timeline. And then Smash here costs 4, and that pushes you back 4 in the timeline. And hovering over will show you where you're going to end up. And then, yeah. And then various other things. Armor types. Just basic stuff, really. Damage types. Have another system called stability that's still work in progress. That's like meant to represent if the character is off balance or not. And that's the idea, is that that's going to be largely what the combat's revolving around. We also have some spells. This applies a barrier to her. And that's an entire thing. Like, this is an effect, so now she has a thing on her that will follow her. Like, it's bugged apparently, but yeah, it reacts when hit and stuff like that. She's facing the wrong way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to just implement characters now so that I just find things that need to be added. Yeah. But hey, it is time for me to go. We have a meeting right about now, so that'll be that. Until later. Until next time, thanks for hanging. Have a good day. Bye-bye.